Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum to all and welcome back with another amazing episode of Fahad's Journeys Talk Show. I'm your host Fahad AI Wala and I'm student at Rehan School Online Academy. So I'm based in Pakistan, Karachi, and today we have an amazing guest with us, Ed Squire, who has bunch of experiences in different fields and different professions, and he is very experienced and podcasting. Also, is a very experienced podcaster. So, and finally, I have this opportunity to interview him, and it is very most awaited podcast for us. So today we are on our show. We are honored to have Ed Squire, a man who wears many hats with a heart full of purpose. Ed is a podcaster, speaker, and videographer whose work embodies the transformative power of kindness and compassion. He is the creator and the host of Visible Kindness podcast, a platform that celebrates how kindness can reshape lives and communities. So, with over 25 years of experience as a trusted business consultant for Fortune 500 companies, Ed has now channeled his expertise and personal journey into creating impactful stories and advocating for healing and purpose. He is also the founder of Me Too What Now, an organization dedicated to helping trauma survivors reclaim their lives. From crafting inspiring documentaries to teaching others how to use creativity for impact, Ed's passion for serving others with kindness shines through everything he does. Today, we'll explore his journey, insights, and the incredible mission behind his work. Please join me in welcoming Ed Squire. So, finally, Ed Squire, how are you?
Fahad, I'm great. Thank you for that introduction. That was very nice and very kind, which is the greatest thing I love to do, and it's great to be here. So thank you. Yeah, wonderful day today in Denver, Colorado, in the USA.
Oh, that's really great. Nice to hear. And thank you so much. It is honor for me to, introduce you to my listeners, to my viewers finally, and your connection with kindness, love, and heart is incredibly amazing. As your background is also like red, which means that it is heart, the color of heart. So, what's new in your journey? Do you wanna share what you are doing now after taking 2 years of break?
Sure. Yeah, I did take time off. I mean, I was on social media a bit, but I wasn't really driving what my purpose was and the projects. I brought everything to a halt. There were a number of reasons why. One was just to give me time to rest. Another one was I had some physical things to look after, and so that was a really good time. I'm not really into the lifestyle I used to have where it was a pursuit of, success and money so you could do something positive. Of course, a lot has to do with yourself. And my shift has changed tremendously because I'm not interested in doing things for myself anymore. The number one thing I want to do is make an impact in our world, make an impact in people's lives, and and money comes down on the bottom of the tree. So I've made a lot of money, and I've made not a lot of money, and money doesn't really change who I am. So that's been a great shift in my focus and what I want to do, and yeah, it's very good. So I'm looking forward to. I've been working the last 3-4 months getting ready to relaunch everything that I'm doing, and that will come to pass in the beginning of February of next year.
That's really great. So you said to relaunch everything. I didn't understand. Means you're about to relaunch your organization and companies.
Yes. So, Me Too What Now was a nonprofit for several years, a nonprofit organization, and I took the nonprofit off of it because it didn't fit that business style, and so it's now part of a corporation, and the corporation is Ed Squire Media LLC. So my podcast fits under that. My uh, organization that helps survivors of trauma and abuse, everything fits under that one company now, and so that's a big shift. And yeah, so that's what I've done.
That's awesome. Great and good wishes for your next amazing journey you're about to start. So at your relationship, I can say, with kindness, with with this kind of thing is really incredible. It means it shows that you're very close to the kindness, and you're type of that person who loves to help others, who loves to make an impact in this world. So, how and why this connection built, and what was really, the turning point in your life when you realized that I have to now make an impact in this world to leave making money like that.
Yeah, that's a very good question. That's a very good question because at the time, I was working for Fortune 500 companies in the US, Canada, and in Europe. And I worked at the C and V level. So that means working with CIOs, CEOs, CFOs, vice presidents, and understanding the challenges they were having in their corporation, not only locally where they were, but also globally. So it was a huge um, career that I had, and I really enjoyed it. I loved it. I met so many interesting leaders at such high levels, like the leader of like the CIO of the Boeing Corporation, Pepsi Cola Global, Wells Fargo here in the United States, and billion-dollar pharmaceutical companies in Europe when I was living there. And so it was very, very good. But what ended up happening, which which is not uncommon, but I got really stressed out. I mean, when you're traveling and working like that, it is very stressful. The higher you go in your career like that, for the majority of men, not everybody, like Elon Musk, he doesn't get stressed out by the amount of work he has. It's a personality type. But I went through so many airports, and I always ran into other businessmen who were living a lifestyle like I did, which is a lot of travel, a lot of work, and you made a lot of money. But a lot of them, they had burned out as well. So I was having some challenges in my job, and my boss said, "Hey, you should take some time off and just give yourself a rest." And I said, "Okay." So I did that. But what ended up happening, which surprised me, was my past came to haunt me, which I did not expect. So, my organization called Me Too, What Now, which helps survivors of childhood trauma and abuse, and the trauma could be maybe you got adopted, maybe you got physically abused, maybe you got sexually abused, maybe you were verbally abused. Children experience many types of different trauma in their lives, but the outcome of those traumas are very similar. We suffer from similar mental health issues, lifestyle issues, personality. We suffer from very similar things. And so that's why I built that. But what came together was I had it was just so interesting. Our lives happen for a reason. They really do. And I think the more we believe and trust that we really don't have the control in our lives that we think we do, but our lives have a path that is chosen for us. And if we're aware of that, we can follow what that is. I never thought like that before because everything went upside down and I was wondering what is going on. So what happened was when I was taking a break, I had a call from a friend of mine in Canada, and that person lived on the same street that I lived on. Her brother was a childhood best friend of mine, and he committed suicide when he was 25. And I know why he committed suicide for a couple of reasons, because I was involved in the same trauma and abuse that he experienced from our elementary school teacher. So our elementary school teacher sexually abused, I can't even tell you how many boys, 95% of the boys in my class. And he did that before I was ever in his class. He did that after I left his class, and he destroyed so many lives. And one of my best friends committed suicide. So his sister wrote a book about his life and asked if I would be willing to speak at an event for her as she launches her book. And I originally said no, because I didn't want to do that. it was just too emotional. But I decided to do that because I thought it would be good. Interestingly, at the same time, I was asked to speak at an event where I live in Denver, Colorado. So my friend who wrote the book invited me to come speak in Canada, but I also got an invitation to speak at an event in Colorado, and that was an event that like in Denver, there's a huge push um, uh, about underage child prostitution, underage prostitution, right, for kids, and sex trafficking, underage sex trafficking. That's what I'm looking for, and so they asked me to come and speak.